All right, we're diving into the world of brand management today. All those RoleCatcher resources you sent over makes me think you're seriously considering a career shift, am I right?
And you zeroed in on RoleCatcher. Smart move. They're doing some really interesting things, really getting into the nitty-gritty of what makes a brand tick.
Absolutely. So let's unpack this whole brand manager thing, shall we? It's more than just dreaming up catchy slogans all day, right?
Right. Although there's definitely some of that too, let's be honest. But RoleCatcher really digs into the data side. Like, they emphasize how crucial it is to understand market trends and consumer behavior. They're not just relying on gut feelings. These guys are all about the numbers.
Data whisperers. I love that. But yeah, that makes sense. So it's not just about being creative. It's about backing it up with solid data.
Exactly. Like RoleCatcher uses this example. Say you're launching a new athletic wear line. A good brand manager isn't just thinking, okay, what's trendy? They're diving into market data, they're checking out the competition, seeing what's selling, how much it costs, what people are saying online. It's all about making informed decisions.
Data-driven decisions, not just creative hunches. That's probably why RoleCatcher talks about skills like persuasion and critical thinking being so important for brand
For
management.
persuasion, because you're constantly pitching your vision,
I,
right, to your team, to consumers, everyone. But that critical thinking part, that's where it gets really interesting. RoleCatcher makes a good point about sifting through tons of data, finding those patterns, those golden nuggets that can actually inform your strategy. And they even talk about active listening.
active listening. Okay, tell me more about that.
So it's not just about hearing what consumers say, but really understanding what they need, what they want, even if they don't articulate it directly. It's about reading between the lines.
Fascinating. So this might not be the best career path for someone who hates spreadsheets and data analysis then.
Maybe not. And RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat that either. They're upfront about the challenges. Long hours, constant pressure to innovate, the competition is fierce. It's not all beanbag chairs and brainstorming sessions, that's for sure.
Okay, so scratch the daydreams of lounging around all day. But you know what? It actually sounds a lot more interesting now. It's about strategy, it's about psychology, and it's definitely fast-paced. But what does that actually look like day to day? I'm hooked. Tell me more.
That's where RoleCatcher's career path breakdown is super helpful, actually. They've got this whole roadmap from entry level all the way up to, like, senior leadership. It's pretty cool.
I like it. So instead of X marks the spot, it's Chief Brand Officer. Right. But let's start at the beginning. What does a typical day even look like for someone just starting out in brand management?
Okay, picture this. You're a brand new brand assistant, right? Lots of energy, ready to take on the world. RoleCatcher says be prepared to do a ton of research, like gathering data on competitors, maybe even managing social media.
So it's a lot of learning by doing. I like that.
Exactly. It's about understanding how everything works at a fundamental level. And then as you move up to junior brand manager,
You get to call the shots a little more?
exactly, you're more involved in shaping the brand. Maybe you're in charge of certain marketing campaigns, working with agencies, and really digging into those performance metrics. Remember those?
Oh, yeah. RoleCatcher definitely emphasized those. It's not just about likes and shares, is it?
Nope. We're talking brand awareness, customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, the real nitty-gritty.
So you need to be creative, but also analytical. You need to understand the numbers.
100%. And then when you reach the peak, senior brand manager,
Okay, I'm picturing a corner office now, maybe a view. What's happening at that level?
you're basically the captain of the ship, setting the long-term vision, leading the market analysis, overseeing all the brand communication. It's high-level stuff.
And a lot of responsibility. Speaking of which, RoleCatcher had some really interesting points about brand management interviews. I mean, even for someone with experience, those can be tough.
Oh, tell me about it. Remember that question about a product launch going totally wrong? Talk about a nightmare scenario?
Right. But I think that's what RoleCatcher's getting at, right? They're not just looking for you to regurgitate textbook answers. They want to see how you think on your feet, how you handle pressure.
Exactly. And that whole AI thing they're doing to help candidates prepare, that's genius.
It really is. Like having a personal interview coach available 24/7. But it's not just about acing the interview, right?
Yeah.
It's about understanding what employers are looking for in the long run.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher is big on tailoring your approach. You got to highlight your relevant skills, show them you're passionate about this world. Generic resumes, canned responses, nobody's got time for that.
You've got to stand out. I like it. But we've covered so much from the day-to-day tasks to the interview process. I think it's time to bring it all back to you. It's like we've got all the puzzle pieces laid out in front of us. Now we just got to put it all together, make it make sense for you.
Right. Let's get practical. Education, for example. What do you actually need to get into this field?
Well, good news. RoleCatcher says you don't need some super specific degree. A bachelor's in something related, like marketing or even communications, that's a good foundation.
Definitely. And they're big on experience, right? Remember those entry-level jobs? That's where you get your hands dirty, learn the ropes. RoleCatcher even suggested internships, volunteering.
Smart move, right?
Shows initiative. So it's not just what you learn in a classroom. But let's say you've put in the work, you're climbing that ladder. Where can this all actually lead? What's the career trajectory look like? Oh man, this is where things get exciting. So RoleCatcher talks about brand management being this springboard. Yeah, you can aim for that senior brand manager role, of course. But you could also pivot, marketing manager, product manager, even something like brand strategist.
The possibilities, right?
See, I love that. It's not just one straight line. You can really make it your own. But let's be real, it's competitive out there. RoleCatcher had some tips for standing out, right? What were those?
Adapt. Learn constantly. That's what RoleCatcher hammers home. Go to conferences, read all the books, keep up with the latest trends, especially online. Things change so fast.
Being a lifelong learner, that's key. And the cool thing is RoleCatcher gives you the tools. They've got that whole community aspect too, right?
Yeah, connect with people, share ideas. It's pretty great. It seems like you came to RoleCatcher with the right instincts, asking the right questions, clearly eager to learn. You're already on the right track.
Totally. So here's our final thought, building on everything we've learned from RoleCatcher today. How can you, as a future brand leader, use AI not just to land the job, but to shape the future of branding itself? Something to ponder as you embark on this exciting journey.